that's so business oriented now, they lost that care. They more or less just circumcised. They took it from you. Now we got to come back and inbred it back in our women. Our men, they don't have it. We didn't know that the father was rearing and bringing up kids. We thought the mother supposed to do it. But when we read the 6th chapter book of Ephesians, he said, and you fathers, provoke them not to wrath. He told us to bring them up.
That's right.
We didn't know that. We thought it wasn't supposed to do it. We thought we were supposed to go and work, chop wood, pick. We didn't know we had no part playing with it too. Yep. He said, you will. He said, and you supposed to bring them up to grow, coach them in the grow. He said, in the nurture is to coach the son to bring it up in the grow. And when Yahusha was taught, you heard he tell you about what all his mom used to do, how mom used to play with him and breastfeed him. No, he told about the father. He said, the father taught me. How many times he mentioned about that mother? I tell you when he did. He told one, what I got to do with you? And when he talked to her, when he told him, go take her and take her to your house. From that point, that's your mama. See that? We saw what a vital influence the father plays in the home and plays with the child. We didn't know that. These people don't teach that. They make excuses for these guys. I'm not making excuses for men. Other than the fact that we weren't taught. See, this system came in to break us up. It ain't just the white man system. It's a system. It's a global system. You know what I'm saying? To overthrow the home, to destroy the kid, to destroy the future, destroy the seed, the inheritance. And now we got to come back and we got to reestablish. Y'all know that's why Yahudah. Why y'all think Yahudah tearing this stuff up? That's what he told Yahusha. He said, I got to tear up. He said, I got to root up. I got to tear down. He said, then I can come back and build. Yeah, they don't even know why this. You know that. See, you don't understand how he works. It's all according to his word. All right, let's try to move forward. Let's see if we see the book talk. Book talking. Don't you see me walking? 15:4, and that's why I love him.
Yes,
listen. 15:4.
Whatever Nikatah before.
Whatever written before.
Nikatah.
To show us the teachers and instructors.
So that through endurance.
Going through without giving way.
And through
the comfort of the writing.
We might have teachers.
And that's important. Let's look at something. So, let me see something. See if that Byth Kaph. 2 Peter, they call it. See if that 3 and 1. See if I can see for a little while anyway. I'll tell you what. All right, listen.
This is the second epistle that I katab to you, my copy B, in both of them as by a remainder.
Reminder?
No, it's a reminder.
He got a remainder or reminder?
So,
oh, no, it's a remainder. Oh, he did that wrong. Yeah. Sure. Well, he just like everybody. He make a human mistake. Okay. Zakar. Yeah, my reminder. Got Zakar. For the re, MA standing for the re. My Zakar, which is for a reminder. I stir up
your sincere love.
Mm-hmm. Can we see what the word sincere means in English? Oh, we know it. We don't hear that. People tell us, you're not sincere in naked education. You think those people are sincere? Those people knew they're going to attract them kids. Them kids were going to be lured later. That's going to go somewhere else. Let's see. Free from or proceeding from. All right, let's see something. Since we're using that, so y'all understand that? Sincere. Now, looking at the word and understanding the word for what it is gives a real opportunity to see if that's where we're at. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're looking at. Because you can ask something, but it's not actually of a real coming from a real place of care and concern. It can just be out of out of courtesy. You know what I'm saying? Like people might lose somebody, hope everything about, be all right and whatever. And you say out of place, that's what you're supposed to say. Like, a lot of things we learn, like people that you want, the folk dead hear you? Why is it we have to whisper, shake hand, and walk soft? You know what I'm saying? The people ain't even in here like they're in the casket like they're I hear y'all niggas out there. What is the problem? But you say you learn how to do that and nobody ever question nothing. So it just become a pattern behavior of things we just do. Whether right or wrong, we just kind of follow and just do things. So this is what we're looking at. Free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings. That makes sense. Let me see something. Matthatyahu, we'll come back to Beth. $26. Let me see, 37. All right, listen. 27, 37. Drop down to 40. I'm gonna say 40. All right, listen.
He came to the town of Dean and found him sleeping, and said to Kaph, behold, is it not in your capacity to stay alert with me for 1 hour?
You don't have the ability? He asked him, is it not in your capacity? You're not able to? Go ahead.
Watch and follow, lest you come into the power of testing. See the Ruach desire, but the Basar is weak.
See that? So now what we got going on here? See that? Got those two. See, you got these two enmities or mutual hatred, because they both desire something different. That's what a enmity is, mutual hatred. So the Ruach has something that it's desiring to happen, and then you got the flesh that it got things it want to do in the flesh saying, man, I'm tired. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I'm sleeping. I ain't want to be. I can't stay up all that time. I go to sleep. When I'm sleeping, I just gotta go to sleep. So the flesh is doing what it does. It want to do. It's time. It's nighttime. Everything, your biological clock is aligned with the Shemash. He took me with night. What you typically do in the night?
Sleep.
That's how he was looking at too. At nighttime, by that time, I'd be asleep. So he going, but now he's telling, but the Ruach desire because he was down. He wanted to entertain it. He wanted to be able to keep going, but he looked at the flesh overrode it. Listen, that happened with you. We natural. Come on.
Once more.
Hold on, they got to move. Listen. Was it some more at the bottom? No, go back. Did he miss? Okay, here it is. I'm sorry, 42. Go ahead.
Once more, he went a second time and Bilal, saying, if this cup cannot able to pass from me unless I drink it, let it be according to your will.
You hear what he just realized? You see that? Listen, once more, he went the second time in Palau saying, Abi, which is for my father, if this cup cannot able to pass from me unless I drink it, let it be according to your will. What we got going on here? What's the war? Flesh and Ruach. Who won? Ruach. You see, now get what he showed. He shows how when a man's entangled, why it's important not to be so entangled into. And you don't have to go get it by now, but they call it 2 Timothy 2 and about 4. Shaul said, no man that he chosen to be a soldier. Kail, which is a soldier, a valiant person. He said, entangled himself with the affairs of this world. He said that he might please him that chose him.
Yes,
so he looked, I can't entangle, because to stay here in the flesh would mean he was entangled with this. He looked, I ain't get myself entangled with. And a lot of times, you ain't gonna believe with us, we get entangled. All of us, even me, we all entangled. So now, you know what we're doing? We're trying to untie. You know, I mean, really, because you don't realize that in life, when they give y'all these things of commitment, man, why y'all think people get to suicide? Because some of them look at, because of all the commitment, because of how much they tied to. And then they lose it. What happened? That was their whole life living. You know how many people living? They just want to live to see their kids graduate. So what they life tied into? All right, into the flesh. If I can just make it through to see them, make it out, get them out of school. And then what you gonna do?
Right.
What if you ain't right? Your kid can graduate from school and still be a failure. I ain't wrapping my life around my kid just getting out of school. I need to live longer than that. I need to get it right. You know what I'm saying? This is part of the operation, what I've been given, a responsibility I've been given, but this don't proceed over the president. I gotta make sure my soul right. You know what I'm saying? These are the things he's giving me the stewardship over. At the end of the day, I look at my first workings and fulfillment, make sure I'm doing the will of. Y'all got it. So he was looking at that point here. He was in the flesh. Why would he want to die? even though he knew where he was going. Think about that. So why folk want me to just sound be all just kicking and bumping fists, ready to die? The man came from where he was going back to. If anybody should have been it should have been no big deal. It should have been for him. But that man just told him he don't want to die. Yeah. And see, and guess what? That's for me, Dave. Because now these folks tell you, if you scared of dying, they tell you, man, you scared of dying, that means you're going to hell. Where people get that from?
That's right.
You ain't scared. Let me put that bullet in your head and blow your brain. Write a note, tell them don't press charges.
That's right.
That's crazy. You're in the flesh. We needed that. So he let us understand the human part. These people don't want to die. He could go back and testify. These people ain't trying to die. These people don't want to die. I had to go through it. Then he had to come through valiantly victorious to show you I'm an overcomer. Yeah. He ain't even jacking off now. We talking about the man, an overcomer. So he needed those of us who know we can't prevent death to know that we can overcome it. He said, just like I overcame. So we need to see somebody to struggle with, then persevere out, and then be able to come through to say, listen, I overcame. That give me the confidence to be able to go through. See, people didn't, I don't want to say everybody, but I'm saying people who didn't fairly explain things to us clearly. So when we had these fears come up, we can revert back to this. And you know what this is right here? This is sincere. Oh, I'm ready to die, man. Shoot, I was ready to die the day I came in here, man. Really, what taking so long? Man, you walking, you like, hey, man, he's serious with. We can relate to that. What I'm saying, he a crazy man. He can't relate with no crazy. This man came through. This man did what we would have done. I ain't trying to do that. No, and I drank that cup. Game on. I ain't trying to do it. He said, I'm not trying to do it. He said, never let go if it's your will. I'm gonna overcome it. Because we needed somebody to go back to be able to express to him, and he needed to be able to know this is a big deal with these people. Their flesh hard. The flesh, it's hard in the flesh. What you got to go through and what you got to fight and what you got to try to defeat, it's hard. And at the same time, you still got to maintain. It ain't fight, stop, fight. No, it's fight, maintain. How you fight and maintain? You're like one of those, fight and maintain. You see what I'm saying? That's a lot, but we needed to see somebody embody that just so we would know he understands. Now, when I talk with him, I know he understands. I don't just have to talk to him as spirit, human. I can talk to him as person to person. You understand. I can confess things to you and I can let you know things just like he did. I can talk to you about that. You want to have that type of relationship. You say, well, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk. I want to know because if it affects you, I need to know. He said, if it affects you, it affects me. You need to know. He said, anybody enemy to you, they're enemy to me too. Not like us, like hypothetically, these two don't get along, but I'm friends with both of them. Yahudah said, one thing about it, you on my side, I don't like that nigga either. He ain't like, he's straight rider. He ain't like her. I'm kind of, you know what I'm saying? For me, you know what I'm saying? Both of them a guy. He's no, not me. Not me. Isn't that right? If both of them mine, he said, I do like Musha, I get in the middle, and I saw that dispute.
Right.
I get in the middle, I tell him, say, y'all two supposed to be our king. Why y'all do this to each other?
That's right.
That we were taught, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And he said, still not judge it right. He said, the one that did wrong, let's catch him from among them.
Yeah.
That's how he worked. He's still for the middle. I'm straight down the middle. He said, I don't care. We all brothers. Y'all shouldn't be fighting. But the one that did wrong, we need to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So he let us know exactly how he stand. I appreciate that. All right, come on. 43.
He came and found them sleeping also once more,
Mm-hmm.
for their own were heavy.
Yeah.
So he left them and went again and belonged.
Hold on. They got to come. We got to catch up with you. 44, please. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So he left them and went again and belonged a third time, while saying this statement one more time.
So he said it again. Why he said it twice? He said, I want to stay. He said, you ain't said it but one time. I didn't think you were serious. He said, I said it more than one time. They said, I'm living serious because I'm about to be dead serious. Isn't that right? I really would like for this cup to be gone and not to do this. But if it's your will, then let your will be done. Come on.
Then he came to the Talmudim and said to them, still sleeping and taking rest. Behold, the hour is near, and the Ben of Adam is.
How many of y'all forgot why we can't hear hands? Who forgot why we can't hear hands? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go.
And the Ben of Adam is betrayed into the hands of Katain,
In the sinners. Tell them what happened.
Come and let us go.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, the one betraying me is coming and draws near.
The one who doing what?
Betraying me is coming and draws near.
Tell them what happened.
While he was still speaking, behold, Yahudah, one of the 12, came. A large crowd with swords and with sticks was with him,
Mm-hmm.
who came from the Rosh Kohanim
Yeah.
and Zakanim of the arm.
And the elders of the people.
The one betraying him had given them a oath, saying,
Do what?
the Ish whom I kiss, he is this one, capturing him.
Mm-hmm.
He immediately approached Yahusha and said, Shalom to you, Moray, and
Teacher.
he kissed him.
And what happened?
Yahushua said to him, my Raya, for what have you come? They approached, reached out their hands to Yahushua and captured him.
So what are we looking at? He wasn't sincere, yet the writers told you to kiss the Ben lest he be angry. That's what your writings told him. Kiss him unless you be angry. So he used somebody who was not sincere. See, this is why the reason why we're looking at this, because that's what we're going over talking about now in Byth Kaph, 2 Peter. He was talking about being sincere and caused you to remind that what we're doing, we need to be sincere. See, he came and done what the writing said, do, kiss him, lest he be angry. But he just let you know he wasn't sincere. Y'all got it? Even Shaul talked about how some preached the Mashiach. He said, not in sincerity. Some do it in strife. So he started talking about the different reasons why people do it. He said, some did it, they're trying to add affliction to my bond. That's what Yahusha was doing. Yahudah was trying to add affliction to his bond. He was already suffering and struggling with the point of death, and now he came to kissing to bring the people in, and that was symbolism to let them know this is who we need to grab. You need to get this guy. Add affliction to his bonds. That's what people do to you. Y'all think everybody come hug you and run to you, that people actually care for you. Sometimes people actually just trying to add affliction to you.
Yeah.
Y'all be surprised. See, a lot of y'all, let me tell y'all something. A lot of y'all younger, and with being younger, there's a lot of things you don't know, you're in experience, and you start watching people like older people, especially country people, they don't eat every while. They don't fool with everybody. Country folk a little different. They'll see something, they learn to speak and keep moving. And they keep it like that. They learn, them people cause you a lot of problems. Them people hurt you later. You know what I'm saying? Older people, they learn from experience with some folk, they don't fool with everybody. They white folk, they start marking, they let you know, don't play with them. They do. City people, just stupid. You're just going wide open everywhere, butt crack, wide open. You're just open for everybody, and then how you get yourself injured. It ain't this stuff don't happen in the country now. Please don't think that. It's just a lot of time they source a little differently than how we do things up here. They look long term. They look at how important relationships are with people and family name. Country people look at stuff like that. That family name. Nobody want to be known that family right there. Work family down. Nobody, a lot of folks don't want, but they start naming people. They let them know. You sometimes they say, them good people though. Them good people right there. You know what I'm saying? They good people because they start looking at the stock, how they do certain things. The people learn even with trading. They learn who to trade with. You can beat people, and for a period of time, then your name get out there, don't fool with them. Don't fool with them. Some people get in the country, they have a name for themselves. If they say they're gonna do something, they tell you can mark time bound. They tell that, listen, that's just like a 7, 8, that's like an 800 credit score. They tell you, if they tell you something, mark time bound. That means right there, whatever they say they're gonna do, that's what they're gonna do. They say, listen, can I get such and such from me? Next week I'll come back and you can mark time, but they're gonna be on time. You listen, you ain't gonna have to find them, they're gonna come find you. If you ain't where you supposed to be, they're gonna come find. They won't rest till they get it done. See, some people establish themselves and they set themselves like that. Some people, it don't matter. That's why you have all kind of groups of people. In like the city, it's just everybody going. People in the city, they more or less just mimicking each other. People trying to mimic the crazy ones, so they feel like folk don't mess with them. They ain't trying to mimic the thin one because they're trying to fit in or trying to see in the country is a little different. Country people are a little different than that. They just like to kind of keep it plain. Now the country start looking more at the city of life, and they losing them qualities that they had that made them different. A lot of men went back to the country to get them a wife. They ain't want to say they like the city when she got too many miles on them. You get them country cars, they ain't going nowhere uptown. They ain't never but to swing around a red light and come back.
That's it.
I mean, my cousin to give it, they said, we finna go uptown. You get in the car, them they go. They get uptown, they slow that thing down like that. Cause
Yes, sir.
you'll go through so fast, you blink. You bad to keep. They where you at like that.
All right.
You going back around, that bit there, ride through the car wire.
Yup.
Ride through the car wire, wipe their rim, something back out, make sure that armor all on that good, shoot back through again.
Yup.
That's it.
That's it.
But niggas in the city go through, they got that thing to the floor. They go through the city. They done went through about 5 cities by the time they come out, they get it running so fast. But it's just a difference of how people do things. And that's why we try to watch it. We want to make sure we understand about, because you're doing something, it doesn't mean it's an honest intent behind what you're doing. So that's why I wanted to demonstrate when we looked up what was sincere, without deceit. Was this kiss without deceit? It had all the, so now we come up to try to serve Yahuah. What we trying to make sure we do, how we try to make sure we do it. So, because some people trying to serve him out of deceit.
Right.
You see why? That's why we need to be able to go back to look over to make sure you want to make sure for yourself you're genuine. Because he knew, he didn't say that when Yahudah kissed him, he didn't say, this done throw me right here. I got to go back and think. He said, okay, you betrayed me with a kiss. I already know what you did. So it wasn't of honesty. It wasn't a care. It wasn't because you were concerned or you were glad. Till we came and we greeted one another with a kiss, we'd be cheek to cheek. We wasn't lipping nobody. You got their religion now. They got their one hand. Because everybody read what they want. It told you to greet one another with a Kudash kiss. We would cheek to cheek. You'll see the mother cheek to cheek because that's our custom. You'll see the friend, different folks. Them folks will go kiss in the mouth. We're not kissing no man in the mouth. That's bestiality, homosexuality, faggotality, shit.
Yup.
All that roll in one.
Sir.
No reason you kiss no man in no mouth. Never remember kissing my dad in no mouth. They ain't
Nope.
kissing me in my mouth.
Never happened.
He do everything he could, make sure you wasn't no sister. Kiss no man in no mouth. I know some of them here hit now. They talking, I'm finna be cutting back. You need to be cut. Kiss no man in no mouth. All right, come on back to Byth Kaph. All right, there's 3 and 1. Listen,
This second.
that they call 2 Peter. The second epistle,
That I thought to my hallelujah.
which epistle is for letter. Copy be my beloved, and both of them by my reminder.
I stir up your sincere love.
See, that's what he's trying to do, trying to make sure. Now, guess what happened? Just from the statement, stirring up. Why you stir up stuff? Agitate again. So it done drop, because sometimes you can have in a drop to the bottom. See what I have? So now he said, I'm writing so I can stir it up, so I can agitate it, where I can get it back up where it started to flow through the whole log. See, these are, even though he usually think it's important, you can have it, it just drop down to the bottom. Just like you might say, sometimes what you want, as you grow, you change, it's not as high priority. Like being sincere to Elohim like you were when you first came and you need to get it. So now we got to stir it up so we can get it back to the top. And how we going to do it? With the writings. We're going to go back with the letters that he done a katab, that he wrote to us. That's what he said I'm going to use to get this back. Let's see what happens.
It is a card of the Dabarim ever been spoken previously by the Kodash Nabaim and of the commandment of our Adam and our Savior that was given by the Shah Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. What they call him Moshe.
And you know this first, that scoffers shall come in the last Yamim, Allah after the lust of the Nephash and mocking saying.
So then we told you, and you know this, Rosh. That's the first thing to start watching. So now what I'm doing, I'm giving you signs to look for. That these people gonna come along and they're lust. Let's see what let's look up lust again. See, if you don't know how to break this down and watch it, how you know it ain't already been happening? He told you know this first. We don't have people doing this. That these people are giving you messages and giving you things that's actually something that they want. Very strong sexual, a passion, desire for something. So you say that a sensual appetite regarded as, that's what these people come. These people will come along and get you, and these people will get you off, and what they desire will be kata. So these are the things we gotta watch out. These preachers, a lot of these preachers working, they know who they are. They know what they out here doing. A lot of these people, let me tell you something. Don't let these folks fool you. Preachers know where they at. Don't think these people out here handling the word, they don't know where they at. You think these guys don't know? I'm having a homosexual relationship. I'm sleeping around with my wife and I'm here preaching. I don't know where I'm at. I don't have no idea. There's somebody come along and tell me. These people handle where they know exactly what they're doing. Stop thinking these people, all these people are not innocent. They know what their intent was. He told you in the last day, that's what you're going to find. These people walk after their own lust. What would be the purpose of me teaching y'all about all y'all having these multiple sex partners? Why would I be teaching y'all this? Y'all have all these multiple sex partners? Why would I be talking about I'm not going to be judging homosexuality because that's not my place? What be the intent behind that? Because I'm struggling with homosexuality, I do it myself. So the best thing is leave it alone, keep people not judged. So mine come up, you know what he say? Pastor did say, don't. He wasn't judging, he wasn't bothering. That's how I'm gonna do it too. If I ain't gonna judge them people like that, I ain't gonna judge my pastor. See, these people work you. And these are things he's trying to get you to realize that these people are going to walk after they're going to halak after their own lust. These folks are going to sit around, they're going to be sensual. This is the type of mentality these people are going to have. These things were symbolism for you to know. Hey, listen, most sects going through these religions, all of them, Yahudah, everyone in the group, all of them, they're going through more than have in the street. Listen, a church hoe get more work in than a hoe in the street. She just don't get paid. That's how she feel like she better. Church hoe don't make no money. She just get the hotel and the Gideon Bible. See, the other hoe, she get both of them. She get the money and the Bible. But see, these are the things we have to consider. This is the state we're in. Come on. You can go back. All right, read.
Where is the Shabbat of his coming?
See that? That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna mark, they're gonna mimic. That's what they do. So mark is to do in duration. See, they'll make fun of people that's of the truth, or they'll try to look like the truth. That's what they did with Yahusha. See, over the last days, was it not? That wasn't his last days. And guess what those people were doing? They were walking after their own love. What was the purpose of taking that man's clothes off? What was the purpose of stripping him in front of? What was the purpose of stripping him in front of those people? Because they were walking after their own lust. You see that? And they started marking him, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
And guess when he told you this is gonna happen first?
Last time.
And wasn't his last days? Look at how we moved into homosexuality now. Find me one of these churches preaching on homosexuality.
They won't do it.
The one that do it, they got a cash to do it when they don't offend the keyboard player.
Yep.
And the choir director. And his wife.
Yep.
And the deacon, and some of the mothers. These folks not talking about that no more. Listen, the church is open up for anything now. Anything. You go to church, you can get any, and all the other, and I don't want you to leave it enough. Everybody dropping standards. They start looking at trying to get people in. People trying to look at money. These preachers they don't have no other trade than preaching. So they can't preach, they can't get paid. So these people sitting around, they looking at now and put on the backs of the people. All right, come on.
Where is the Shabbat of his coming? For since the Abot fell asleep, all things continue as they were from Barashim of the creation.
So what are they talking about? Hands. Hands. Good one. Good one. 6th chapter of the book of Barashim. He told them that men, let's see what happens. He just told you that. Let's see what happens. 6th chapter, Barashim. They call it Genesis. Whatever you're struggling with, everybody here, you got to break that. He's not going to break it. You got to break it. He gave us, what he did when coming, he gave us the ability to. He had the ability to. Listen, Shamshun would give him some Elohim. He would give him a code of conduct. He would not eat nothing that put his teeth on edge, him or his aunt, his mother. Y'all there? And he wasn't supposed to drink strong drink. And in return, he was the strongest man we ever had. At the time we knew, he was the stronger we knew. His strength was unknown. Now, when he violated that oath, what did Yahuah do? He allowed, that's right. Yahuah departed because he violated the oath. He did 2 things. Somebody asked me about last night. Chris, I'm gonna bring up. If y'all look, y'all will find the statements as your sins and your, what's the other word? Iniquity. You usually say transgression. Or I might say, nigga, your sins and transgressions. That's what we talked about, came out sins and our transgression. We talked about, and I appreciate you asking me about it last night. The sins are where you actually had gone and you had missed the mark. Your transgression is the fact that you violated. So he's getting you on the violation of that you went against what I told you, and this is your sin. When it came down to Adam and Yahuah, pay attention to the statement when he came to Adam. When he asked Adam to come, he asked him, had he done something? What was it? Sin. Eating of the ox or which? All he had to do is say, hey, you eating of the tree. But he brought up because he was charged with sin and transgression. Because I told you not to do it, and your sin was that you did it. So you understand sin and transgressions. So now you missed the mark when you sin. You made an offense, the fact that you didn't do it. Sometimes your parent whipping, did I tell you not to go to, what you getting whooped for? You're getting hit for your sin and your trans, because I told you not to, and I'm whooping you because you did it. Y'all ever had them kind of whoop when they talk to you, they start, because they pissed, they looking at you, you violated, because I told you what not, and you did it. So now I get you for your sins and your transgressions. Y'all got it? So this is why we have to look at these statements and not just kind of compile them into one, but this is why you got yourself, you find. So now, guess how I want to get myself out of transgression, or get myself out of sin? You stop transgressing. See, that's the key to it. See, if you don't know how this is where people mess up at. They don't know how they got to sin. They just know, I sin. I sin. I sin. I need to start sinning. I sin. I sin. I'm finna start sinning. I sin. I sin. And get what they're saying? I don't know how to stop sinning. It's because nobody broke it down. Your first problem is you need to stop transgressing. See, when they tell you to do something, do it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's the problem. Because that's the thing. Think about it. When people fight, they're fighting on how you stop committing sin. See what I'm saying? I wind up sinning. I'm sinning. Every time I'm sinning, you're sinning because you're in transgression. So we got to get you out of the transgression where you stop going against. You got what I'm saying? Once you stop going against, there's no reason for you to sin. You're sinning because you keep going against what he told you to do. That's why he told Adam, he said, did you eat of the ox, of which? Because he's trying to get him to see, look at how you've gotten yourself into this sin, into Qatar. Because you did what I told you not to do. See, he was trying to tell him, now man is beginning to recover, to understand how we gotten ourselves in this difficult situation. Because, Yahusha told you last night, they have not all obeyed. They have not all obeyed. So we start to break down and look at how we got into see. The reason why Satan been able to work us because we didn't understand how. We just know, we just dealt with our commit sin. I did wrong. How? Why? Well, I had went with the girl and I had went, how? I want you to really understand how. I'm thinking it's the girl. It's not the girl, it's the fact that what he told me. Yahudah told me, not concerning the thing where you wrote on me, it's too for a man, good for a man not to do what? Nevertheless, every man have his own wife. See, he told me, so that's gonna be my first problem, touching. And we learned touching from where? Hands. Hallway beat you. Come on, Hallway. What he told him. See that? Now don't eat it, he told him don't touch it. So when Yahudah told her, where we're gonna get it from? See? That's why he let her know. That's why he told her. He said good for a man not to touch it. Nevertheless, to avoid it. He said to keep away from it. You got to report. He said, go ahead and be married. He said, and then he told you what to do when you get him. He said, then render to him what belonged to him. You get that to him. That's theirs. Give it to him. Can't get nobody, don't give it to him. He said, you give it to him because now it's lawful, it's theirs. Just like all the preeminent, it belongs to Elohim. Give it to him. Y'all got it. That's what, see, this is what people don't realize. All of the teachings about marriage was to kind of get you, he used all these different attributes to get you to understand the relationship between you and him. Got it? For us to understand the relationship, that if a man asks a woman, hey, come on, let's get on your roll on you. So, we can't do it. Come on, we can do that. We can't do that. Why? Because we're not married. Come on, give me a little kiss. Come on. She said, we can't do that. Why? We're not married. Let me feel on. No. Why? Because we're not married. So what do we need to do to face that? See, you want to know, Why Elohim can't work for me? Why Elohim, we're not married? Why Elohim can't work? See, I need you to understand the marriage, because it's not lawful. So you put me in a situation where this is a violation for me to operate with you because we don't have that relationship. So once we go ahead and we make this relationship where it's recognized, then guess what? Now we can do the touch. Huh? Okay. All right. When Yahusha got up front of Cabal, you know what he told Maureen when she came?
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Later on, he came all the time, but then you believe what he told him to do. It's lawful. It's lawful for you to handle me and say. Handle me and say. See, it's things you got to look at what's lawful and what's not. That's why it's important we got to go back through this and understand the structure so we understand the relationship. A lot of time to understand relationship, we got to understand the natural relationship. When you don't understand nature and how nature works, you don't understand relationship. How you understand Elohim? You don't understand it. A lot of things you just don't understand. And that's our goal, is to try to understand him, and we understand it from the humanistic things that we see people do, things that we know as a man, things we know as women, as mankind, and these relationships, how they work. And we start to use these things to kind of understand the relationship and protocol with him. Y'all got it. What allows him to work for us? What's in favor and what's not? You know what I'm saying? Understanding having something by favor versus just something given you by work. All these different things he let us see. And he let us see the same thing in everyday attribute things that happen with us. So we understand him and understand the relationship that what he's doing for us. And we begin to have an appreciation for him. Okay? All right, let's see. Finish this up. That's 6. There's Barashit. We got 6, no, 6 and 1. You know, went to 6 and 9. Barashit, they call Genesis. All right. Listen.
Now it came about when Adam began to multiply on the Pania of the Auryah, and Banut were born to them, that the Beni of the Elohim saw that the Banut of the Adam, that they were beautiful, and they took Nashim for themselves from all those whom they chose.
Mm-hmm.
Then Yahuah said, my Ruach shall not strive with Ish for long. In their erring he is saw, and his Yamim shall be 120 Shanim.
See that? He cut his time down. So I don't have to keep fighting with you, man. It's ridiculous. The more y'all multiply, y'all keep going. He says, I got to cut your time down. Come on.
Then the Nephilim were on the arise in those Yamim. And also afterward, when the Beni of the Elohim came into the Banut of the Adam, and they bore to them, they were the mighty Anashim who were of old, Anashim of renown.
Mm-hmm. They were known. Go ahead.
Then Yahuah saw that the Rosha of the Adam was great on the Auryah, and that every intent of the thoughts of his law was only Rosha all the Yom long.
What happened?
And Yahuah regretted that he had made the Adam on the Auryah, and he was grieved in his law.
Mm-hmm.
Yahuah said, I shall blot out the Adam whom I have created from the Pani of the Auryah, from Adam to beast, to creeping thing, and to birds of the Shamayim, for I am sorry that I have made them.
See that? That's what we look at right now. So when we start looking at, let's go back over the cup. It was just important to see that. So now we saw what a noon was, because he kept talking about the sons of Adam, which would be the noon, which would be continual. And see, let's think about the statement. He said it about his behavior being continual. All we think about just his mindset, but it was his seed too. I'm talking about Adam, the fact that he kept talking about the sons. He kept talking about these people generating from these were seeds that came out, and we knew them to be continual. That's why you looked at him, it made sense to destroy him. Listen, if I got a bad batch of seeds, what I'm trying to keep them for? I can't grow what I'm trying to produce. What I'm going to do with the seed? So can we blame Elohim for a decision based off the seed? Because he says, every time I plant it, it's the same thing. This is the only thing keep rooting up from it. So it made sense for him to plant something different. Something that'd be more essential, something more vital that'll work. He said, I need to get rid of this whole batch. Y'all done seen before that you done bought meat and bought bread or bought something, and that thing you don't know, they got a recall.
Yeah.
They want everything. They want everything. And yours might not be, but since it came from that bag, I want all that back. Bring it back to the store for a refund. Bring it back. Bring it back. He want the thing out your hand. Because you see the detriment of it. These are things that we have to sit down and we look at how he operates. That's what he looked at with us. He said, man's continual. So I'm looking at the seed. So it made sense to take Abraham, separate Abraham from it. Listen, there was no reason for him. Well, I'm saying no. Whole batch bad. So you take Nuach and you start back up. But you got one more seeds left off in them. And then you take somebody from those people that descend out from them, which is Abraham, and you separate that seed from it. So you can try to get you a better batch. And through that is how he came up with us. And still, look at how many other bad seeds generated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole time you can see why he kept just looking at, I can just get me a seed so I can start it back over. That's what he did when he kept Nuach. Now, I just need a seed to start it back over. If I get back, I can plant it somewhere where I can put it, where I can really get it like they do, and I can put it to where I can make sure the seed grows and the seed is not contaminated. I can make sure that the seed not altered. That made the purpose of putting you, just like a farmer do when they got a small garden, they'll put a fence around it.
Yeah.
Y'all ever notice them do that?
Yeah.
They would have keep certain predators out. They know they ain't gonna keep, but you're trying to keep certain things out. That's the same thing he did when he put us in Jerusalem. He like that was from the seed he was generating, he was trying to keep it corrupted, so he walled it in.
Yeah.
Make sure you can keep other things out from it. And until you can generate it, you can get it up enough. So once you can get up enough to stand, you get them for the kind of big field. Them folks don't have time to put it. I got too much.
Yeah.
Listen, you can steal everything I got if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Ain't that right? The animal can eat. They can't eat all this stuff I got. Ain't that right? They like, you get watermelon field, you go down the country, you see, maybe you'll say, watermelon left, they just let them rot.
That's right. Yeah.
They said more watermelon get. I overplant them for a reason. Because I know somebody gonna steal. People gonna lie. Some of them gonna get busted. Some of them ain't gonna write. So I put another way I can eat, sell, give some way, and still got some left over.
Yep.
And Yahuah established himself like he realized, listen, he had to anticipate all this. He had to anticipate. With as much as he put in, someone gonna get lost, someone gonna get taken, someone gonna get stolen. Someone just gonna come up and be a bad seed. Y'all got it, but he kept him a seed. All right? Come on. Come on.
Where is the shovel of his coming? For since the both fell asleep, all things continued as they were from the sheep of the creation.
Y'all see that? So they fell asleep. What happened? We got to go back, look at the sons. In time, looking at continue, simply because we know from our Alah chart. Let's see it. Largen it here. Larger they can see it. What is this? Which is the better known as the seed. Come over. See that? The son, continue. The seed to continue, the inheritor, the son. So I had a problem with the son. That's why I keep naming everybody Adam. So you know whose seed it was. Let me tell you something. All right, this is what we'll look at so you understand it. Yahusha on the 2. Everything he looking at, all the people that he took and he created, everybody came from Adam. Everybody see, that's why he keeps writing everybody. Every time he talked what I mean, they would tell you son of man, because he would call him the son of Adam. Every one of them, he would call him son of Adam. Even Yahusha when he came, because he came in the flesh. In the book of Er Onan, in the epistles, his writings, he said, Kabibi, now are we the benim of Elohim. He did not tell you the benim of Adam, because we took on another trait. See, the whole time, he kept telling you what happened. The seed continued, the sons of Adam they were coming to an end. He knew how they were going to come to an end. So it was needed for him to establish his own. So when they put Yahusha on the 2, that's why it was needed when they pierced him in the side. The blood came out and it went on the ground because he was not bringing up seed to Adam. That's why he spilled it on the ground. That's what Onan did. He spilled it on the ground because he knew if he had when he went into his wife, his Isha, he spilled on the ground because he did not want to bring up seed to his Ak, because he knew it wouldn't be his. See, these people they can't teach you that. They don't have enough common sense. They ain't got enough ability to want to be saved. That's why he spilled it on the ground. It didn't make sense. Everybody, he just told you that the sons were continual. everyone to come out, he saw it's the same practical behavior. So Yahusha looked at, why would I want to bring up seed to that? It wouldn't be my seed. Those seeds are corruptors. Yahudah told there was a seed of evildoers. He said, beneath that are corruptors. They're gone away backwards. So he was not bringing up seed to them. That's why when he was up on the tube, when they pierced him, it ran on the ground because he was not doing it. That's why y'all pay me. You just don't know it. You need where your money go. These people don't know what they're doing. They're killing time. That was the purpose. But see, a lot of this you wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand. You just think of the story about just blood and water hitting the ground. It was not. It was about him mimicking something that had already gone through. He was not bringing up seed to Adam. Y'all see that? That's why they start referring to them as the benim of Elohim. What is Elohim? The mighty one? Ruach. Wow. When there was a Yom, when all the benim came, the benim of Adam came to see Yahuah, remember?
No.
Who was it? Because they were born of the Ruach. Elohim not bringing nobody in, they're born of the flesh. That's why I told you that they didn't in flesh, they cannot please Elohim. Now, these stupid people, they don't have any kind of ability to understand that. That's because the works and the ideas that you have versus the work and idea he have, they're not satisfactory. They don't want any kind of thought you come up and you think your attributes will work. Now, the thoughts that you have that's given to him, that's given to you of him by him are not the flesh. Those are the work of the Ruach. Like not fornicating, that's not a work of the flesh. That's of the Ruach. Not getting drunk, that's not a work of the flesh. That's a work of the Ruach. Although my physical body's not doing it, it only pleases him because this is an attribute trait that he gave me. That pleases him. You understand that? They say, I don't see why I'm not trying to go down. You can't please him in the flush. They got a flush. Country folk got a flush in the toilet. We may say there's no way to please Yahuah in the flush because that's the toilet. So in the flesh, you can't please him because of what you do. Smoking, drinking, kazal. These are works of the Ruach. This is of the flush. That's right. It's all going to the toilet. So you need to understand that so you understand what's the relationship predicated on. You need to know how to create the relationship. You got it. So you need to know when you do things. See, people get entangled in their mind. They come up with their own ideas of works of the flesh and don't understand. All the works of the flesh are works that you come up with on your own versus the works that he's giving you to do. You got it? That's a different when the order comes from him. So you know what I'm saying? Now you're going to do those works well in the flesh, but they produce or they create a ruach effect, just like Yahusha on the tube. Who died on the tube? The spirit? Flesh. What they came and captured, the spirit or the flesh? So we agree they captured the flesh. They took the flesh and they nailed the spirit up on the cross. What did they nail? The flesh. And then the spirit died. Flesh died. Okay, so the flesh died. And then how did it produce this ruach effect for us? Because y'all guys just all told me it was flesh. I tried my best to get y'all to say it was spirit. And y'all said it was not. Then y'all said it was flesh. Well, how did it create the ruach effect? Because it came from Elohim. The works that he did in the flesh were the works that were given him of Elohim, which was ruach, and it created a ruach effect. Y'all got what I'm saying? Had he done it of his own, it would have created nothing. It would have done absolutely nothing. So he showed us how things can translate from a natural and still be conducive to a spiritual attribute. Just like you see the transforming of a seed. When it transforms, it go down, it modifies, it changes. It kills out something in order for it to go and to reproduce. He told you if you then be risen with the Mashiach, he told you to seek those things which are above and not those things which are on the rise. For you're supposed to be moots and your life supposed to be hid in the Mashiach. When the Mashiach, who is our Kai, shall appear, then you shall also appear with him in Kabul glory. Then he told you to do something. Mortify. You know, right? You know, to modify some things you had to change out, and that's what happened. The works that Yahuah did, Yahusha would wind up doing for in the flesh caused this mortifying or the modifications that we making now. Because these are acts we didn't do. How many of y'all were fornicators before you came here? How many of y'all stopped doing it? You modified, you changed, you kill it out. That's how we do, make modification. How many of y'all were drinkers? How many of y'all stopped drinking? Guess what you did? See, so you were drinking in the flesh, correct? So you stopped drinking in the spirit. You stopped drinking flesh, but it produced a ruach effect. Because now I recognize you. See, these people, they get so tangled up and they'll think that means don't do nothing. Because my God said we can't even please him in the flesh. I don't even try. Because I know they ain't what they gonna want. See, these church, they have folks trying to please them in the flesh. My God said you can't please them. People, this is what's dangerous about retarded sinners. They'll say just enough to mess people up. They'll convince people that you can't please. You can't please him with your own. Like they talk about our righteousness as a filthy rag. How could our righteousness be a filthy rag if it's the righteousness that he's given us?
Right.
So he told you about how these folks have gone about to establish their own and not submit themselves to the righteousness with the Sadiq of Elohim. So there's a Sadiq of Elohim, which means when you keep the criteria. When you're not keeping the criteria, you say, well, I don't do everything the Bible says, but I still serve him. That's called your righteous.
Right.
And guess what with that one? You cannot please him. It's unsatisfactory because there is no other right other. If you have a right, he has a right, then that makes no difference. Then guess what? It's more than one. It's only one right. It's only one wrong. Don't let anybody make no fool out of you. You can't have your own righteousness because he has one. For you to have one, I have one, that's a problem. Because for him to get this understood, there is no other right than what he said I mandate. So if you have one, then we're saying it's more than one. They said, well, he said we went back to establish our own right. Yeah, but your right wrong. I told you right, because that's what you want, just like I told you about these other deities being Elohim, but I clearly keep showing you they couldn't exist. You can give them the titling, but I'm going to show they don't exist. Because I'm going to show you all of my attributes. I'm going to show you all my signs and all my wonders. When he came to Mizraim, they had Elohims. He came to topple them, to show them they are not Elohim. He told them they're Mizraim. He said they are men, they are not Elohim. He said their horses are flesh and they're not spirit. He shot them down and let them know I drowned them in the sea to show you these people not Elohim. I drowned them. You Elohim, I brought you through the Red Sea. Everything to try to show you he exists. So that's why we start looking at, for me, it's important because you keep saying that he saw that the Benin or Adon were only Rosha continually. So we're looking at, I got to start looking at our chart, how we look there. So if they continue to do this, don't it make sense to cut the seed off? I can't get a good one. It was like years ago when you play spade, they ain't good at me and you, just telling people that me, you know, they ain't have no spade, they can throw their hand in. Because guess what? Think about it. Bet you might not they could throw your hand in, you say ain't got no spade. Man, I remember them days, boy, them be a good day. You got a terrible hand, no spade. And then they said, if you don't have at least two. Because niggas start looking at me, and it's too bad when if you got one of that joker, you said, I got that one joker, I got to make that joker make 5 books. Folk don't realize it can't get but 1 book, but in your mind, you got to try to threaten folk with this joker, like, yeah, boy, that thing come around him. Yeah, we know, they'll have me a day, you know, there'll be no card player, they'll be too excited. I don't want to call nobody's name. I know, like, hey, he'll save it to the end. How you get it? He'll kiss it before he throw it out. Mr. Joker! It'd be the last card, and they still don't have their books. We say, yeah, that's a true sign you don't know what you're doing. When you watch the whole that joker to the last right there, and that joker could have been winning cost, I got to save for the last card. Even though you already got your book, you're messed up and reneged, he still want to hold that joke. Somebody else done got hit. So you don't know who you hit around here and right. So these are things now that we're trying to look at. We just want to understand this. And this is what he looked at. We talked about using the scenario of throwing your hand in because because typically they used to look at, I don't have a chance, I don't have spades. The name of the game is spade. If I don't have a spade, I don't have a chance. I'm talking about how people who don't know how to play cards look at it, right? How we looked at it one time. Because they ain't used to know how to play card. When I was born, first thousand high pill, the doctor came, I said, I don't know it, I'm learning them. I know about the 2 of diamond, the 2 of spade. I said, I'm trying to figure which joker, because I'm seeing guarantee he won't go to one to buy something. I'm saying, they said the guarantee means that guarantee the card. I said, if that a guarantee that the card is right, that guarantee this one right here gonna win. They don't like that. See what I'm saying? But so I had to learn that in the hospital as a newborn. You was in the other room, you were knocked out. So anyway, let me tell my story. So we're doing that because you feel like you don't have a chance. So guess what he looked at? Well, Adon, innocent, I don't have no spades. I'm gonna throw that whole hand in. Yeah. We didn't have a chance with it. We didn't have a chance with Adon. Had we kept him and just kept him in his seed, we didn't have a chance. He even told you, he said, except he had got us a spade. He said, we had been like Sodom and made like the Gomorrah. So we started to understand this even from natural occurring events of how things kind of work for us to see why he had to look at, I can't use this hand. It's a bad hand. So when Yahusha came, it made sense for him to look at, it wouldn't make sense for me to deal the same hand again. If I bring up seed to Adam, I'm basically giving you back the same hand. Right. And that's the same hand you couldn't win with. And that's why we take on now the attribute of saying now we're the Benima Elohim and not the Benima Adam. We are according to, and we understand that from who? Hand. Wow, Yahushua. He was the Ben Daud according to the flesh. But he was made the Ben Elohim according to the Ruach. That's so guess how we make the transformation. Because see, now you got group that get twisted up. Now they ain't flesh no more. Yeah. No more. Y'all heard people say the dumbest stuff. Yeah. Because they misunderstand things. So now they ain't flesh no more. No, I'm sorry, they ain't flesh. They're not flesh no more. You know what I'm saying? They spirit. Which make no sense. When the man told you, he said, you don't see a Ruach have no flesh and blood. Come on, preacher, that's right. He said, you don't see, it can't. That's right. So we understand the operation of our transformation because we did some modifications. Well, we still kept it as in a sense, but we did some modification where now we made the Ruach a more of a major idea in operation functioning capacity than we did the flesh. Before we worked in the flesh, and it kept us where we could not be the Benima Elohim. That's why it was needful for him to come, because there was no way. Listen, we were out. You were out. Listen, you were out. It was no way to get it. No way. This had to happen. It had to happen. That it had to be established upon better promises. Y'all all right? What is that in bar sheet? 30. See that 3071? For those that don't know, because I was talking about him spilling on the ground, I don't want to say stuff. I know a lot of y'all, how many of y'all don't know about him spilling on the ground? All right, we'll make sure we try to clear. 38? Is it 38, 37? Is it 38? 38. Ba, Rashid, 38. It ain't that serious. Hang in now. Uncle Hayward, if you can't do nothing with Hayward, don't bring him back home. We tired of all that crying. Every time he come in there. Isn't that right? I know you're trying to do what you can. You got to get with it. He can't cry about everything. Isn't that right? Just learn how to play spades. Listen. 30-1, listen.
First one?
Well, we'll come on down. Yeah, let's say.
And it came about at that time that Yahudah departed from his Akeem and Rod into the east, and the Dulamite, whose Shem was Hiram. Yahudah saw there a Bob of a certain Canaanite whose Shem was Yahudah, and he took her and went into her. Mm-hmm. So she conceived.
Hold on, back up for a minute. Come on. Look what happened. Now listen, Yahudah saw that the daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and did what?
When he took her.
Now this was married. This right here was consummating the marriage. See, because they don't write in full complete to tell you basically when they say took, that went with marriage. Like we look at the 6th chapter of the book of Barashit. When they said that Benima Elohim took the Benuth Anashim and they took wives. So you understand when they say took. See, these groups use this. I'm telling you, a lot of Hebrew Israelite groups, and it ain't all of them, they use stuff like this to make a fool out of people. He went and he took her because he was thinking there were stipulations on taking people. It was a set down agreement a lot of time between the fathers, between the Abba. The father was set down and they would discuss and have on arrangement of what would be given, whether so many sheep, goats, and how the family would come together. And they were going to wind up coming together because you're uniting families. Typically, how things you to be family. They're like in the country. Some folks, they don't want to because they ain't want their family hooked up with folks. Maybe some folks, they like, country folks see, they look at the family's connected. Somebody like this make a strong allegiance for us. You know what I'm saying? Our family and their family is larger. Well, we combine them, that makes more of a force and a strength. So that's why you kind of look at who you start connecting with. Come on.
So she conceived and bore a being and called his Shem Er. Then she conceived again and bore a being called his Shem Onan. She continued still and bore a being called his Shem Shelah.
Yeah.
And it was at Kazil that she bore him.
Okay.
Now Yahudah took in the shot for his firstborn, and her Shem was Tamar.
Now we're gonna do that. Let's do this. Let's look up his name. What his name mean, Cause how they teach us, we just read and keep going. You got the names of the character versus looking at. You never name a child. How we work, we never name a child without a purpose. Let's find out what his name mean. How about that?
Yes, sir.
It's better. Let's understand it. You know what I'm saying? Understand. We go. Let's see what his name is. Because we typically know what happened to him. Let's find out what his name is. So let's see what played a part to a lot of this. We want to look at a couple of things that they said we want better understanding about versus just saying we heard the story. We want to understand it. How about that? Appreciate the sound crew them back down there helping us out. Look. Watchful. That's important for us to know. Y'all hear that? Watchful. Okay. So who we gonna get that name to? Huh? Habakkuk? Yeah, we can. You said Ra'ah? We get to Yahusha. Yeah, he was watchful. He paid attention to a lot of stuff. He kept up with things. You just said it behind me. I heard that El Car said it might reverb. I was gonna tell you how to fix it. That's you again. It rough, ain't it, Lee? It rough. So I just want to make sure his name. So his name would be watchful. All right, come on.
Now Yahudah took in the shot for his firstborn, and her Shem was Tamar. But Yahudah's firstborn, was Rosha in the womb of Yahuah. So Yahuah killed him.
Could it possibly be because of the fact that his name, he supposed to have been watchful?
That's right.
Okay, let's see.
Then Yahudah said to Onan, go to your Yachazaq'AL and make a brother-in-law's marriage with her.
See that? Because now this became a Torah for us now. What they call a brother-in-law's marriage. What is a bone? What we call this Yabim. Which is gonna be a brother, I guess, symbolize. They wrote a lot for putting that there. I'm sure it's a little more, not as complex as they wrote it out like that, but knowing you taking your brother's wife. So now he want to take his brother's wife and do what?
And whom up offspring for your aunt.
See that? So he could do it's gonna be for his brother. So when he go in to take his brother's wife, he's going to give her, he's gonna do this for his brother. Sure. All this is for his brother. And that's important for us to pay attention to. And that's what he looked at when they came down and they slept with him. Y'all got it? Look. Come on.
Onan knew that the offspring would not be his.
So Yahusha knew that. Let's see what his name means, Onan. We got an Onan him. And a mean daddy.
That's right.
I think that mean mean daddy. Angry father. Onan. Strong. Y'all see that? Name is Strong, okay? All right, come on.
Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. It was when he went into his Yachazaq'AL.
That's what happened. When he went into his to his brother's wife, what he do?
He wasted his seed on the Adamah.
And what?
In order not to give offspring to his aunt.
Y'all ain't gonna believe it. The book, we look at Yahushua. You know they told her that he should be called a Nazarene? Yeah, he was supposed to be called a Nazarite, because that referred over to Shamshun. Because Shamshun was known for his strength. So Yahushua, although he didn't have a name, he had the trait. Hello? So see, that's why he kind of tell us, he was declaring the end at the beginning. So when they put him up on the cross and they pierced him in his side, when the blood came in and ran to the ground, semen has water and it also has blood in it. That's how you do DNA with it. So his blood ran down. That's why he let it run on the ground. Because he was strong and he refused to do it. And you ain't gonna believe what happened. Yahusha killed him. That's what happened to Onan. He died for that. See, you see how symbolism is important. See, you just looking at one thing. He died for our sins and he rose for it. Going, you didn't realize how a lot of things contemplate, how a lot of things happen. He wound up dying too. Hello? When that dumb spilling hit the ground, that's the same thing. That's not what he heard. So Onan knew that the offspring would not be his. It was when he went into his ox Isha, or why what they use? Isha, yeah, the Isha. He wasted his seed on the ground in order not to give offspring to his ox. Adam was his brother. 3rd chapter, book of Auryah, 3 and 23. I do that for a living.
Yes, sir.
Every job I do for recreation. Auryah, they call it Luke, the 3rd chapter. Listen. Huh?
Verse 1.
Should be 3 and about 23, I think. Go ahead.
And Yahushua began his work, and he was about 30 Shana old. He was considered the Ben of Joseph, the Ben of Ali.
See that? They're going through all his now listen, they're going all through his now you're going down through his Tuladah. When you start the name and they're looking at when his ministry, what people say, you know, his ministry started at 23 when he was 30 years old. I don't know why people said it when the man was in there teaching at 12. I guess he went there and told us, my ministry ain't started yet, but I'm just gonna talk, y'all, because he wasn't just asking the book, he was answering questions.
Right.
He was answering them questions. He knew, I know you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Yeah.
And they were all astonished at his knowledge, at his da'ah. And right? And how how his knowing, what he knew. All this stuff, they was astonished at. This man, he shocked everybody being so young, having so much knowledge. They looked at knowledge for us went with age and years. And see, we can see why he was justified and why he actually came along and he was in there, he was correct at asking them questions. He followed somebody else. The 3 friends of the Ehud, when they sat down and questioned him, there was a younger one that sat among them, and he told them, he said, I would have interrupted you. He said, but I figured age should speak. And he let them speak. And he let them know that every one of them were completely wrong.
That's right.
He let them know that everyone was speaking were completely wrong. And you know, he let them know, he told them age men are not always wise.
That's right.
That's what he learned. So a lot of things we start to learn why he did what he did. He sat around, he just watched and let them speak. He knew. He said, age should speak. You guys have been around a while. I will let you speak. See, a lot of stuff y'all don't do, you're supposed to. You're supposed to rise in the sight of a hoary head.
Yeah.
People tell you that, you know what they'll do? They'll see an old person in a wheelchair and a walker. Need somewhere to sit down, they'll sit their side behind right now. It'll be a time you get up, you say, ma'am, you want this seat? You move quick, you get up there, they see an old person, you got the way, old man, you got the way, you need to sit down. That man got time over you. They disrespect. You'd never got, what happened you been in the country? You said somebody old, your parent want how somebody old standing up there leaning on the wall, and you sitting in the seat. Damn! They'll slap you through the sheetrock. Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like you seen somebody, why you ain't let them, they'll knock the piss out you. Like, you don't lost your mind. Them folks in a wheelchair and a walker, and you won't let them sit down. Scott, in your smart self. They was already sitting in the wheelchair. They gonna bring you back in the house, sit you back in that chair again. Another slap coming. Yow! But you was in the chair too, I snapped you out of it. All right, let's see there. This is all right. So we're talking about who the son was. Jump down to 30. What's that one? 33? All right, come on, we'll roll through that. Well, jump down to 32. All right, come on.
Being of Yashid, the being of Obed, the being of Boaz, the being of Solomon, the being of Nachshon, the being of Aminadab, the being of Aram, the being of Hezron, the being of Perez, the being of Yahudah. the
Mhm.
being of Yaakov, the being of Yahusha, the being of Abraham, the being of Terah, the being of Nakor, the being of Saru, the being of Ru, the being of Peleg, the being of
With the
Abar,
divide or bar other side. And
the being of Shalak,
sent.
the being of Canaan, the being of Arpachshad, the being of Shem, the being of Nuach, the being of Lamech, the being of Methuselah, the being of Canute, the being of Yared, the being of Mahalalel, the being of Kenan, the being of Enosh, the being of Shyth, the being of Adam, the being of Elohim.
See that? Now they just gave you the Tuladar of Yahusha from his start, and they got all the way down here. They done tell you about this man. The son of Adam is who Seth was. And Adam was the son of, that's why he wouldn't do it, because that was his brother. That's why he spit on the ground. See, you would have never caught that. You weren't supposed to. You see why he can justify it? The people don't realize how they connected. He just gave it to the dog. That's why he could justify spilling on the ground.
Yes, sir.
And that give Yahushua, that give Yahuah a reason to kill him.
Yep.
That's what he looked at. The man said, hey, you spit on the ground. You weren't going to bring up seed to him. But he knew why. Because you're trying to establish a different seed based upon better promises. We saw the end of Adam. Being the son of Adam got us what? Got us killed. That thing got us killed. So in order to get Kai, we need to become the Benim Elohim. Y'all got it? Which means we had to proceed from one that came from him. Another one that came from him. Y'all got it? All right, well, I'm just trying to help y'all out so we understand our situation, because people not getting it. And they were getting it. I think you'll get a better result out of our people. And that's what we're trying to do, is get a better understanding of how this whole relationship works. I'm summing it up kind of for y'all, and I'm gonna try to let y'all go. Back to that Byth right quick, Kaph. See if I can use to try to sum it up. Jump down to probably about 9. I don't know where we left, about 9 or so. 3 and 9. Byth Kaph, 2 Peter, they call it. 3rd chapter. What did I say? I said 2nd. I just said 2 Kaph. Oh, 3 and 9. Okay. Don't get slap yourself later. And give yourself a check. I'm like, I thought I said it, but I didn't know. I'm like that. Here, man. 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Thank you. He back there wilding out. But he said, do I excuse me? You mind if I wild out one time? Back there wilding out. Isn't that right? All right, look at him. This is 3 and 9. Listen.
Yahudah is not slow that is concerned with shower, as some think is backwards, but he extends his wrath for us, not willing that any lost should perish, but all should turn and end to repentance.
Hands. Give me an example. I'm gonna see if I'm about to think what I'm thinking be somewhere else. All right, I got a bishop. Anybody else? You think about your answer. Please try to act like you so serious, right? That man try to act like, man, if I get it wrong, I'm better say, yeah, I'm over here trying to do this and this. I know. When you gonna use that? You gonna use that excuse? I know. See that? I'm only niggas. Oh my God. All right. Hold on for a minute. What you doing, bit man? You saw that? What you see different since you pointed? He said, it's familiar. Bishop, you mind with that? You got an answer? You believe you do? Wow, what made me think you got an answer? I said, you care, we kind of, listen. Tell me, he said, I just preached it. Last month. Oh, I don't know. What you using? Daoud? Why you said Daoud? Let me see that. Based off of this, and it's good because the order to see where we at is to kind of look at how he said it. So that Yahuah is not slow that is concerning his promise. Then you know what not concerning what he said. As some think this backwards, he has extended his wrath for us, not willing that any lost should perish, taking a law, but that all should turn into repentance. That's for example of that. You said that Daoud said, let it fall on his house in Yahudah. Well, you all right, because I want to see what you registering, what you think. He thinking now he want to probably go a different way with his answer. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Abraham about Elohim to extend, not destroy the people.
Okay. No, check. I don't. He's for those. How many of y'all don't know what he's talking about? Good, me either. But anyway, I'm gonna try to explain it. No, he said, how about when Abraham pallowed for them in Sodom and Gomorrah? He talked with Yahuah. He told him pre-adventure and not to destroy the city. Elohim told him he'll go down and see it. Look at that. I would look at. I was thinking more on the line in the book of Alah Shamuth. In about the 32nd chapter or so, when he came down to destroy him, and Mushah talked to him about not destroying him as one man, because he's still intent. He said, go ahead and take him to where they're going. He said, in the union, I will visit them. So he extended it. See, what we're looking at him not turning away from it. Some people here, he said, I'm extending the time period of me coming. Like, they're gonna foreclose your house next week. I'm gonna give you another 2 months. He said, I ain't gonna be foreclosed. I never said that. I just extended it. I'm giving you more time to come up with something that maybe you can keep the house. So his purpose of him doing it was more or less, we're trying to look at examples of him extending the time in order to give the people the time to repent. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? He's not going to not destroy us, but I'm giving you enough time. Just like when we looked at when he sent them to Nineveh.
Yep.
He told them how long? He could have sent them straight in and said, y'all done. So he extended, getting them a time, getting them a period of time to where you got this amount of time to try to come along and try to justify the rest of the reasoning for letting you still exist. Minister Dexter. Was you thinking or was you searching, typing? I just want to make sure we know the right answer. So see down there, then I'm thinking. Then go ahead. Not that the wicked should perish. And Marshall Lee? Extend it. But quote it. How you trying to quote it? He talking about, do I have any? He asked about that. Do we have any pleasure in the wicked that they should not repent? But again, this still traits along the same lines of the reasoning why. Because anybody he went on repent wicked anyway. Yeah, everybody doing. But he's trying to say in Marshall Lee, it's a writing, but I can't remember how it quotes. Because you just said in Marshall Lee. I don't know if in Marshall I remember him saying it that way. I don't remember. Do you remember how it quote? It's probably in the book of Tahilim. We talking about, did he have any pleasure in the wicked that they perish? Or one of the other writers. But that is true. That's the whole purpose of trying to get us to understand the fact that he extends it. What you got, Ed? That's bad answer. I can tell it bad. Because he throw the hand up, he put it out, he said, he came. What is the answer? Let me say, what you got? That's it right there. He extended the rail. And I'm gonna need that check. 2 of them. Because I don't know what one had to do with the other. That man so far out there, man, looking, he out of it. But what I told y'all, see, this is psychology 101. You watch the person who got the answer. When they do their hair like this and try to make it and throw it to the side like this and make it be somebody else. If he get me good, if he don't, I'm gonna say, that's somebody else. Then take it down and say, maybe he didn't see me. Or I seen it. Try it again. You was in the spirit, though. That's a good answer. Now, how would you understanding that? That remove the cup.
We said, we're not willing for any should perish, but they should turn to repentance.
Who be teaching you? Who be teaching you? Go and put 2 checks up there. Man, you cold.
I know.
No, you need to check that. Good, and you freezing?
Oh, yes.
It cold in there?
Yeah.
Man, y'all sick, man. That man might be trying to be a polar bear. I mean, the polar bear be cold too now. How many checks you put up now?
2.
2.
Yes.
You'll be back. No worry about it. I'll be watching. But no, but it's interesting to know how we think sometimes when we're reading, and it's good to be able to revert back to things that we can correlate with what he's telling us, so you can start to see a consistency. Typically, y'all look at Christians. We just read something and you believe that what you read there, but there's some other supporting documents you need to more or less solidify that nobody move you. Just like when Yahuah Onan came on now. See, Yahuah Onan, he will write down and tell the people, like, see, this him, behold, the Lamb of Elohim. Y'all remember that?
No.
What were he doing?
Preaching.
He was just pointing and talking. That's why he told you, I have greater witnesses that of Yahuah Onan. See, the writing, everything was trying to get you to revert back to writing. See, he had so much writings that came along. They just heard him just talking and pointing and saying things. I mean, it aligned the thing, because he told them to send all Yahudah. I'm gonna send him before that great and terrible, before that great and that terrible day, that awesome day of Yahuah. And he was gonna turn the laws of the Abba back to the Benin, and the Benin back to the Abba. He said, "Lest I come, I'm gonna smite their rocks with an Auryah." So people were looking, but it was still kind of confusing on who was it. They went asking. They said, "Well, are you one of Nabi? No. Are you all Yahudah?" He said, "No." And who are you? He said, I'm just 1 cent. He didn't make the crook pass straight.
Come on.
He said, I'm just sitting to make the crook. And he listen. And he just started explaining to everybody how he got here and how he got in position.
That's right.
He said, listen, he said, I knew him not. He said, but the same one that sent me to emerge said, the one that whom you see, that the Ruach come down and ascend on him in the shape of dove in a bowl. So that's him.
That's him. Yes, sir.
He said, all I'm doing, I'm just crying out in Bamar.
That's right.
That's why the people, when they were there, he would cry among the people. See, people were looking for him, and they'll teach it. See, Yahuah Onan, he used to stay in the bushes. No, he didn't. The reason why they could tell he was one crying out in the wilderness because of a man that Yahusha healed and opened his eye. He told you he seen Anashim. What did he say look like? He said look like trees.
Come on.
When Adam ran from Yahuah to hide, where did he hide at?
Come on, the ox.
I see men as trees.
Come on.
So when Yahuah Onan was crying out among the people and confessing, he was crying out in Bamar, which was a wilderness.
That's right.
You see, they too dumb, they'll never know
Yeah.
that. They're not supposed to know that. Just to prove that to you, Yahusha told that in the 15th chapter. He said, I'm the vine. He said, my husband, my Abba, the husband, said, my husband, he the one that planted. Every branch of me that don't bring forth fruit. Pari, what did he say do? Now, what he had to be that he could bear fruit? I see men as trees.
Come on.
So when Yahuah Onan was crying out among the people, he was actually crying out in the wilderness.
Yes, sir.
See, but you're not supposed to know that. Think about it. Why would Adam run among trees and start covering himself with leaves? Who does that? Trees do that. I see men as trees. Hello?
Yes, sir.
That's how he see you too. In the book of Shyth, he told you about that. They were trying to set up one to rule over the trees. They looked among the bushes and everybody. Okay. They may have been seeing you that way. In the 15th chapter of the book of Yachazaq'AL. Let's see it. Pick it up right quick. We've probably been finishing up right here. See, y'all done got me running somewhere else now. See, all this stuff, nobody didn't talk to us. Why would I be telling you to bear fruit? What you know about bearing fruit? You're a man, unless you're an ox. All right. 15th chapter, Yachazaq'AL, they call Ezekiel. Yeah. It's gone. Oh. Listen.
Then, but the bar of Yahuah came to me saying,
What did it say?
Ben of Eve.
Ben of Adam. Ben of Adam. What do you want to know?
How is the wood of the vine more than any wood of a branch?
That's what the man asking. I don't know what we're talking about him. We probably trying to save souls and save people. The man talking about wood. Talk to me.
Which is among the ox and forest.
Woo. which is among the Bamart bar. What happened?
And will be taken from it through work, or cannot achieve they can fit and hang any vessel on it.
See that? He asked you about it. A twig. The other man asked you about a twig. He said, let's look at it. Let's look at the difference. Let's look at the significance of this thing. Let's look at a twig. Among all the ox in him, let's look at a twig. Who takes a twig and hangs something on it? He said, look at it. He said, I want to ask you, look at all the ox, all these trees, and let's look at the vine. What can men do with it? Can men take it and hang anything on it? What else happened?
Behold, it has been put into the fire to fuse,
Look at that. It's been put into the fire for fuel. What happened?
and the fire has consumed both of its end and its middle part has been charred. Is it being useful for work?
Now he asked you something. Now they just took the twig that nobody was using and just throw it in the fire. The front of it burned and the middle of it's charred. Now he want to ask you, can you use it now? What did he tell us?
Behold,
Oh, what do you want me to say?
while it was whole,
While it was whole,
it is not made its work.
you couldn't do nothing with it. And what else happened?
How much less when the fire has consumed it and it is charred, can it still be made to work?
That's what he started looking at these people. He looked at really, you just useless. You're useless while you're existing, and you're useless after you get burned. Why would you be talking to people talking about wood and burning wood?
See them as ox.
I see men as trees. And they knew there was absolutely nothing they do with a twig. There's nothing. They get a twig, what you do with it? Absolutely nothing. People get a twig, play with it, and break it. Can't do nothing with it. You can't hang nothing with it. You can't connect nothing with it. It ain't good for nothing. That's what he got. That's what he used to let them know how insignificant they had become. He said, this is how insignificant. You haven't been no good the whole time you've been here. And that's as I burn you and charge you, you ain't got no better. You're even less now. So these people could sit up and come up with the conception of looking at how he saw them, how he viewed them. These people were useless. Yahusha came in and told you what kind he was. He's on the true vine.
Mm-hmm.
And husband, he said the father of the husband, which is the farmer, the person that planted, who's responsible for him. And he said, you know, everyone in me that don't bring forth any paree, he let him know he take it away. And you believe what he do? He cast it into the fire. You know why he do that? You weren't good for nothing when you were him, and you ain't good for nothing after you get burned. This is what we do. So we got a better understanding, looking at things and how things actually operate for us. What was the purpose of putting this man up on a tube? He was a tree. There was somebody you could see. That's what Adam did. He covered himself with a tree, didn't he? Mm-hmm. So then it made sense for Yahusha to do the same thing? He covered himself with a tree. Let's see. Let's see if I get it right. What did they take off of him before he went up there?
Clothes.
So he would have been what? What would he use to cover himself? That's why he covered himself with the tree. See that? He covered himself with a tree. The same thing Adam did. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all done got me going off area. Y'all knew this though, right?
No.
Well, that's why you got to take. Pick me up right quick. Sit at 1349. Who know what I want? Matthatyahu.
Yeah.
1349. We're going to let y'all go there. Sit at 1347. All right, listen.
Again, the Malkuth of the Shamayim can be compared to a net that was cast into the yarn.
He said that the Malkuth of Elohim is a net. So what they tell you? He gave some. They were, guess what? They were fishermen. That's why I'm using this simulation with you. The Malkuth Elohim, let's use like a net. Come on.
And a variety of species were gathered into the net.
Guess what happened? When you take a net and you throw it in the water, you could be shrimping. You ain't gonna believe it. You can mess around and catch a dolphin, a shark, a barracuda. You can catch red snappers. You can catch groupers. You can catch blowfish. You can catch catfish. It's a net. And guess what he told you? I want you to understand the Malkuth Elohim. It's just like when a man drop a net in the water. It picks up all kind of species. Listen, and for the Hebrew Israelite, it ain't gonna be but one species in the Malkuth. The man just told you he just drug a net. He says it's equivalent to dragging a net. Let's sit down. What happened?
And when it was full.
And when it was full,
They brought it up.
and guess what they're gonna go with? The fullness of time. So in the fullness of time, you can't stop. Just like a baby coming out. They said the baby late. The baby not late. The baby gonna come out when the fullness of time. So that's what he did with the net. When the net get full, he ain't got no choice. It's time to bring it in. That's what he's looking. He's trying to show. All the things he's trying to show. The kingdom, the Malkuth Elohim is the same way. Just like a net. As it gets so full, you can't do anymore. Otherwise, the net's gonna break. It won't support it. So at a period of time, I got to bring it in. Come on.
Then they said, "Now, take it to the sea."
And do what?
And this,
Mm-hmm.
had one player.
They ain't gonna believe it. They thinking he ain't gonna keep but one race. He told you he kept the good species, which means he's gonna keep other goyims. That's why I told you people are not that intelligent. This man never told you he threw away everything and kept one species. I kept the good out of every one of those. The ones that were bad, I got rid of them. He said, this is how the Malkuth. That's why I said, it makes no sense to follow these groups. It makes no sense. You can't be that stupid. The man just told you I'm comparing the Malkuth Elohim to a net being thrown. It's going to pull all kind of species, but the species that are bad, I'm going to get rid of them. And who we going to use? He got it about that Nuach. He got it. He ain't ready no hand. He got it. Nuach. Exactly. Because guess what he did? See, this how again show you people don't know what they're doing. So Nuach didn't keep nothing on there that wasn't clean. He had to clean and the unclean. Showing you he gathered in more than one species. You see what I'm saying? How does it make sense to follow these groups that teach you this foolishness that he only gonna take one race color people? And it makes no sense. When that man took all these animals in, showing you that there's gonna be a variety. And the problem they got with the unclean that he put on now, don't let no man call them common unclean. If Yahuah unclean, he done made them Kodash. They were unclean for your eating and consumption. They were clean to get on that ship. When he dropped that net down and he bring those people in, the one that unclean for consumption, he not keeping. Y'all got that? He only gonna keep the clean, the one he could take that can cohabitate inside that Malkuth. But it's gonna be a variety of people. Come on, fend this up.
So it shall be at the end of the age.
See that? That's why I had to tell it to you. Now he said, now we're gonna talk about the Malkuth. I had to tell you something natural when a man drag a net. They're gonna sit down, they're gonna put out, they're gonna look at what we can bring to market and what we can't. Get this out. Get this, get rid of this, get rid of it. You can have, I don't want it. We taking what we can bring to the market. Y'all got it? That's all he's doing. He gonna bring what he can bring to the market. Everything is about getting back to this changer. So you get to this changer, that's what they pay you for your goods. Just like for us that labor that do this, once we get this to this changer, then he gonna pay us. Come on.
The messenger, the Malachim shall go forth and separate the Rosha from among the Sadiq.
See that? That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna get rid of the bad ones. They're gonna cast them out. Go ahead.
And they shall cast them into the furnace of fire, where there shall be wailing and grinding of teeth.
See that? That pain. You ever get something that make it just bite? He said that's how it's gonna be when they get in that fire. When they get in the itch, that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna be grinning and grinding. Come on.
He said to them, have you understood all these things?
That's what you want to know. He asked them, did y'all understand what I told you? Did y'all understand what y'all taught today? Listen.
They said to him, yes, our done.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to them, therefore, every scholar who is educated in the Malkuth of the Shamayim can be compared to each a owner of a Byth who brings out of his storehouse new things and also old.
See that? And these folk here, they don't go teach the New Testament. So you judge for yourself what I know what I'm doing. He said, everybody that scholar that been educating this, he said, like a man of household, he can bring out the new and the old. You be the judge. That's two.